Hi guys, it's me, Val Toxic Free. Welcome, happy Monday. Okay, today's video, it's a question. It's a question about, well, I'll read it to you. I won't say her name, she may not want me to say it all over the internet. Anyway, can you do a video on giving your power away? I see it as a pattern in me in narcissistic relationships. What I mean is being too available, not protecting my energies, accepting breadcrumbs all the while as he's trampling my boundaries, losing myself and putting him on a pedestal. Now, I looked into that and I was like, well, there's a few things there, but really they're all connected. And they're connected through oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is a drug that our brain releases when we are in love or when we are doing something that makes us feel good, whether it's having sex, whether it's eating chocolate, whether it's getting drunk, anything like that. It's kind of like a drug. It helps the attachment process in somebody. So, if a narcissist comes into your life, a lot of us have had relationships. Now, I'm going to kind of put a little bit of my experience into this. My past relationships haven't been very good. Whether it was my fault, their fault, whether there was just no connection or whatever, I've always had, problems. Because if you're human, we all have faults. We all have our certain traits. But a narcissist hides those traits, doesn't he? So when you meet a narcissist, I think this is why you get more attached to them. Because they act like Mr. Right. They want to be your Mr. Right. They hide their flaws. They do certain things at the beginning of a relationship. They don't show who they are. And because natural, normal relationships show who they are, that's when you decide whether you like that person or not. Because of their traits, they might pick their toenails in the telly, or they might pick their nose, and God knows what. A narcissist will hide all these little imperfections. He's probably done it all his life, or her life, sorry, not just men. So they come across as the most perfect person. They come across as your soulmate. And they love bomb you at the beginning, and they tell you how perfect you are. So for the first time you think that somebody's really seen you. And this is what I thought about my ex. I thought, oh my God, I found somebody who really sees who I am. And I fell in love, I didn't fall in love with the person. I obviously, like most of us, we fall in love with the person that they're pretending to be. And back then I didn't know about narcissism. So this person who's pretending to be Mr. Perfect, who's telling me that I'm perfect, that he's going to treat me like a princess, that I'm the one. Now, as soon as obviously somebody tells you you're the one, that is something that you're connected with, because you think, wow, this is the one. Don't lose this one. Do not lose this. This is the one. I love you. You're perfect. We're going to get married. They love bombing you until this oxytocin is running around your body and you're feeling good. You're feeling happy. It connects you. It's a social thing. It gives you that boost. Now, what happens is when you get to the devalue stage and they start to drop you and their mask comes off and they'll walk out, give you the silent treatment. That oxytocin level is replaced with cortisol, the stress level. You start getting more and more stressed. You miss that drug that you get from that person. Now, they can go off and they can do whatever they like because they're not emotionally attached to you. They don't get that oxytocin. They don't get that kind of love drug thing going on in them. So they can walk away from you as easy as anything. They leave you sitting there with this, oh my God. Now, it's not them necessarily that you're missing. It's that feeling of the oxytocin boosting you. We think they're the most perfect person in the world. And what also happens, and going back to the question, not protecting my energy, accepting breadcrumbs, all while he's trampling my boundaries. You see, when we love somebody to the end of the world and we're getting something from them that we've never had before, we don't want to lose it. So what we're doing is we're actually scared to put our boundaries up. We're scared to say no because we're scared they'll go and naff off then. But if they really did love us, they'd accept our boundaries. And this is what we forget. That's another test. If you want to test somebody's love, put your boundaries up. And if they accept your boundaries, it's real. But if you put your boundaries up and they walk away and don't want to know you, well, you know that they're not meant for you and then they're just an absolute tosser. But when we're actually attached through this love drug, we're attached. We've been basically told that we're the best thing in the world, that you're the one. We're so scared to put boundaries up. We're so scared to say, I will not have you treat like this. When you leave me, I want you to, call me. Don't just disappear on days on end. It makes us sick. And what happens? You get that detachment. Then you end up getting together. So it's like a circular thing. It's like an up and down. It's intermittent reinforcement. So what happens is, you know, like the best part of breaking up is when we're making up. Okay, I won't sing. The song, the best part of breaking up is when we're making up. That's basically what it is. So it's that drug, so that when you've gone through all that cortisol, the stress and everything, when they come back to you, you think, oh my God, and you get that hit, that huge hit, and they soothe you and they calm you and they tell you, I'm sorry, I love you. They buy you flowers, they make love to you like you've never had love made to you before. And then you're back at the top until the devaluation stages and comes back. And then it goes back up. And this is what happens. So this is why we don't put our boundaries. This is why we just beg for breadcrumbs. This is why we think that, you know, and also what happens in between. When they've walked off, you've had that complete buzz of drugs in your body because you've had them for the weekend. They've treated you like a lady. They walk out that door. You get anxious. But what happens is when they fall out with you, when they've given you the silent treatment, they'll come back. And the reason, one of the many reasons that we stay and don't say, look, I'm not having this. You either stay or you go. I'm not having you coming and going all my... The reason is because they come back and they'll gaslight you. And they'll say, the reason I left because of you. You're just too sensitive. You snapped at me last night. I can't stand the way you are. No wonder your last boyfriend left you if you carry on like this. I love you to bits. I adore you. Absolutely worship the ground you walk on. But you're ruining it. You're doing this. It's not me, it's you. You have to stop being insecure. And this is what happens. So we take it on as our fault. So when we get back with them, we think, oh, it's our fault. I can't lose him because it's me. So we're always chasing our tail, trying to fix the relationship. Every time they walk away and they give us the silent treatment, they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it by choice. And more than often, we haven't actually done anything wrong. They might create an argument. They might manipulate you into getting snappy. They might do something just before they walk out so that when they come back and give you that big buzz, they can say, the reason I left was because of you. And that is why we are tied to them a lot, guys. That is why we want breadcrumbs, because we think it's our fault. And this goes round and round and round. You get your oxytocin, your cortisol, your oxytocin, your cortisol, your oxytocin, and it can make you sick. You can get fibromyalgia from it. You can get all sorts of ailments. You can get skin acne. You can get stress. You can be so run down. You get anxiety, and it's not good for you. All those rushes of alternate different types of drugs and adrenaline going around in your body. So every time they get back with you, it's like going cold turkey if you're a drug addict. Again, I've never done drugs, so and if you've kind of like anytime someone's giving you that drug after a long time, I can imagine, God, there's going to be rumours going around. Actually, there's already been rumours going around. Anyway, you know, you get that hit and all of a sudden it's like, wow. And that's why you wait, and that's why you know, and you get into this trauma bond is where it goes round and round and round. And you stay with them because you think it's your fault and you think you've done something. So when they come back and they hug you, you think, oh, good. It's horrendous, guys. And I think going back to the question, I'm like, let's hope that I've covered that. You know, it's not protecting my energy. We don't protect ourselves. We're so happy to have somebody who adores us. We don't want to lose them. Accepting breadcrumbs, yes, we do. We'll accept those breadcrumbs between the bits that we don't get them. It's a Hoover kind of thing, isn't it? They'll come back and they'll feed us with this adrenaline. They'll feed us with this oxytocin and then absolutely disappear on us again. So we don't know whether we're coming, going or riding a bloody scooter. Trampling my boundaries. We don't want to put boundaries up because we don't want to lose the one. And we think it's us. So if our relationship is dangling on a thin thread because of us, why are we going to then suddenly go, by the way, I don't want you going out on Sundays with the guys. I want you to have a nice weekend with me. By the way, do you mind picking your towels up? I've got boundaries. Can you not do that? Because we don't feel that we've got a leg to stand on. Because it's us causing the trouble. And we are the one. So we've got to get back to being the one. So we will do everything that we possibly can do to be the one again and to get that love drug and to get that obsessional love from that person. So it goes round and round and round and round. They devalue, then they come back. And that's what happens, is why what a lot of people will say, I've seen it on comments, they'll say, I feel guilty, I wronged him yesterday, I couldn't cope, I missed him so much, he's come back now. And then, you know, the next week they'll say, oh, he's gone again, I can't cope. We have to make that mistake at least 6 or 7 or 8 times, if not longer. And we have to go round and round and round and round in that circular cortisol, you know, oxytocin, cortisol, devalue, value, devalue, value, where we're giving that crumb, we pick that crumb up and then they don't put any crumbs down. This is how it goes. But after a while, we get to the point where our brain will then kick in and go, I can't do this anymore. We will not walk out on the first time. We won't leave anything on the second, third or fourth, fifth. We do ourselves damage by waiting for this crumb of love to come from these people. And when we get it, we're absolutely back in heaven again. And they tell us that it's our fault that they left. It's our fault that this relationship's going downhill. Which is why we don't give up. We just sit there and wait. So in between, we wait. Then when they come back, we get that love drug, we get that feeling of elation when they tell us that, sorry, they made a mistake, they should never have walked out on us, but it's our fault, we've got to try and behave and be a good girl, and they won't leave us again. We walk on eggshells. Guys, if this is happening to you, it's going to be a difficult one to get out of, and it's one of those things sometimes you just have to go through. But when you do, you need to talk to somebody who will support you. You need to talk to somebody who knows about narcissism. Please don't go to anybody who doesn't know about narcissism. They'll tell you that it must have been your fault. They'll literally validate what the narcissist has been saying. Well, what did you do? Because they can't understand why somebody would keep leaving you and coming back and leaving you and coming back and leaving you and coming back. They're thinking, well, what did you do? You must have done something for them to keep walking away. Do not listen to anybody who doesn't understand narcissism, because they will kind of gaslight you without knowing, and they'll tell you that it's your fault because, well, why would he keep leaving? They wouldn't understand. So remember, he's not attached to you from emotion, so he can do whatever he likes. Emotions control us. We are controlled. And I've said this time and time again. The person who has no love in the relationship, the person who doesn't care, has the power. Because love is such a controlling thing. It controls us, and we don't realise that it's actually not just, you know, our heart and our love that controls. It's the drugs, it's the cortisol, it's all that goes on. It can make us sick. So I'm hoping I've kind of answered the question there about, you know, wanting crumbs off them and waiting, is because we're a drug addict when it comes to love. Love is a drug. So, you know, just talk to somebody, see a therapist. If you're going through this, if you're literally trauma bonded, and that's what it is where you get addicted to this cycle. So guys, you take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.